So let's get started with another episode of the Car Injury Doctors Network. And what it is, it's a group of doctors that have been specifically trained in not only the diagnostics and therapeutics, which support the patient, but the documentation and the narrative report writing and the testimony, which supports the injury award and the attorney. And as an example, what makes us so unique and different is that we do 5 things that are real unique. We do what's called high sensitivity tests. In other words, we actually do very specific tests to find specific problems. Number 2, we do what's called high relevancy testing. We don't just do generic testing like what happens when you send somebody to the emergency room. And then we do, it's all medically accepted documentation. Next is we use the 12-step formula to tell the story to support the injury award. That becomes very important relative to the narrative report and the testimony. And then we use a 25-step for the testimony to tell the story and to build the case and support the injury award. And these are the exact formulas I used to, when I was in practice, to never lose a case when testifying on behalf of a patient. And it all started with my case when I took a case, a soft tissue injury only case from $0 to $110,000 policy limit with no disc injury, no nerve injury, no mild concussion, no fracture. And this happens all the time when you understand our documentation. So today we're going into and again, I'm Dr. Paul. I've opened 77 offices in 20 states, speaker in 3 chiropractic colleges. Again, as I just said, I teach continuing legal education to doctors and attorneys. Never lost a case in court and testifying on behalf of a patient. So these are some of the important factors. But today we're going to go into a really interesting topic, a very important topic relative to personal injury, and an unbelievably highly valuable topic with if you have a doctor that can do this. And what today's topic is, and we'll just read it off the dry erase board is really just for me. It's the injury award gold. It's injury award gold when your doctor can document and explain why car injury patients have pain and restrictions with some activities of daily living but not others. Let me say that again. Unbelievably valuable when you have a doctor that not only knows how to document this high sensitivity, high relevancy documentation, but now he can explain it, not only in a narrative report, but it's even more valuable in court, in front of a jury, because that's really that's really where there's a tremendous value for the attorney, is when the attorney knows he's got a doctor that knows how to document all these categories, and he knows how to put it in the narrative report, which is good. But especially he has the absolute confidence in that doctor to go in front of a jury and explain it and win. And that's what happens with our doctors. And so a lot of times when the attorneys start working with our doctors and they realize how much our doctors know relative to putting this all together to support an injury award, that's when our doctors are typically asked to be expert witnesses, or typically asked to come into court to testify, because that's where the real strength is. That's where you get a lot of strength, is when you don't put up with what the insurance company just offers you. In other words, you can actually go after it because you got confidence in the doctor that he knows what he's doing. So this one topic is really important. It's actually too big for the 20 minutes we're going to cover right now, but I'm hoping to get the main principal cost, which is it's unbelievably valuable when the doctor can document and explain why car injury patients have pain and discomfort in some activities of daily living but not others. And that's unbelievably important because number one, remember the 2 most important categories with the injury award was there an impairment rating, and how did it cause pain or restrictions with activities of daily living. Those are so how this injury is permanently impacted a human being with important activities, such as activities of daily living, is the absolute most value, essentially, you can have.